English you need for the life you want. I'm your host, Alex, and I am so excited for today's episode. Have you ever felt stuck with your English? Like you've been studying for years, but you're not making real progress? Well, what if I told you it's possible to go from basic textbook English to confident and fluent in just 5 months? Today, we have a very special guest, Sophia, who did exactly that. She's here to share her story, her exact daily routine, and the secrets that helped her achieve incredible results in a very short time. This isn't about magic, it's about method. So if you're ready to get motivated and learn a practical blueprint for success, you're in the right place. Sophia, welcome to the show.
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, Sophia, let's start at the beginning. Take us back to about 6 months ago. What was your English level like? And what was the moment you decided, okay, I need to get serious about this?
6 months ago, my English was, classroom English. I could say, hello, my name is Sophia, and I knew grammar rules from a book, but I couldn't have a real conversation. I would freeze up. If someone asked me a question that wasn't in my textbook, I had no idea how to respond. I felt really insecure.
I think so many of our listeners can relate to that feeling. What was the catalyst for change?
The catalyst was a job. I'm a graphic designer, and my dream company, a big international agency, posted a remote position. It was perfect for me in every way, but there was one huge requirement: fluent, professional English for team meetings and client presentations. I saw the job posting and my heart just sank. I thought, I can't do this.
Wow. So you had a very clear and powerful motivation.
Exactly. But at first, I was just sad. Then something shifted. I got a little bit angry at myself. I had been learning English for almost 10 years in school with nothing to show for it. I decided I wouldn't let my poor English skills stop me from getting my dream job. The application deadline was in 5 months, so I had my goal and my timeline. It was terrifying, but also incredibly motivating. I told myself, for 5 months, English is my life.
That's an incredible mindset shift. So you went from feeling defeated to feeling determined. What was the very first thing you did after making that decision?
The very first thing was admitting that my old way of learning wasn't working. I threw out the idea of just studying grammar books. I knew I needed to live the language, even from my apartment in Sao Paulo. My goal wasn't to pass a test, it was to communicate. That changed everything. I decided to create a full immersion environment for myself.
A full immersion environment. I love that. It sets the stage perfectly for what I want to ask next, your daily routine. So, Sophia, this is the part everyone wants to know. You had 5 months. What did an average day look like for you? How did you practice all 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing?
It was intense, but I made it a habit, like brushing my teeth. My day was built around English. Morning, listening. My alarm was the BBC News Radio. While I made breakfast and coffee, I would listen to a podcast. Not an English learning podcast at first, but something I was interested in, like a design or a true crime podcast. The key was I didn't just let it play in the background. I had a little notebook. If I heard a new word or a cool phrase, I'd write it down. This was my active listening time.
Active listening, not passive. That's a great distinction. What about the rest of the day?
Lunch break, reading and writing. During my lunch break, I wouldn't go on social media in Portuguese. Instead, I'd read 1 or 2 articles in English on sites like The Guardian or Medium about topics I enjoyed. After reading, I'd spend 10 minutes writing a short summary in my own words in a journal. Or sometimes I would just write about my morning. It was often full of mistakes, but I didn't care. The goal was just to produce the language.
Evening, speaking. This was the most important and the scariest part. I knew I had to speak every single day. I used a language exchange app. For about 30 to 45 minutes every evening, I would have a video call with a native speaker who was learning Portuguese. We'd do half the time in English, half in Portuguese. The first few weeks were so difficult. I was slow, I made a million mistakes, but I forced myself to show up every day. That commitment to speaking daily is huge. Many learners avoid that.
It's the only way to get better. And one more thing, total immersion. I changed the language on my phone and my laptop to English. I started watching my favorite Netflix shows, first with English subtitles, and then, after about 2 months, I turned the subtitles completely off. It was hard, but my brain started to adapt. I was basically tricking my brain into thinking it lived in an English-speaking country.
It sounds like a powerful combination. Consistent habits for each skill and a general immersion environment. That's a fantastic blueprint. You mentioned a few things there like language exchange apps and news sites. Can you share some of your absolute favorite tools or resources that really made a difference?
Of course, I had a few that were essential. For speaking, the app Tandem was my favorite. It was great for finding serious language partners for those daily calls. For vocabulary, I didn't use Duolingo for long. It was too basic. Instead, I used a flashcard app called Anki. It uses spaced repetition, which is scientifically proven to help you remember things. Every new word I heard in a podcast or read in an article went into my Anki deck. I reviewed it for 15 minutes every day. It was a game changer for my vocabulary.
Anki is so powerful. What about for listening and consuming content?
For podcasts, I loved This American Life. The stories are so interesting that you forget you're learning English. For YouTube, this is my biggest tip. Don't just watch Learn English channels. Find YouTubers who make content about your hobbies. I love technology, so I watched Marques Brownlee, or MKBHD. I love comedy, so I watched Good Morning Mythical. This made learning feel like fun, not a chore. You learn slang, natural speed, and culture.
That's a golden tip. Learn English through your passions. It's the whole philosophy of our channel, English in Real Life. Exactly. It's the most sustainable way to learn. This journey sounds amazing, but I'm sure it wasn't always easy. Can you talk about some of the challenges you faced or mistakes you made along the way?
Oh, absolutely. It was not a straight line up. My biggest challenge was the plateau. Around month 3, I felt like I wasn't improving anymore. I was practicing every day, but I felt stuck at the same intermediate level. It was so frustrating.
The famous intermediate plateau. How did you breathe through it?
I had to change my method. I realized I was getting too comfortable. I was having the same kinds of conversations. So I started pushing myself. I started talking about more complex topics with my language partner. Politics, science, philosophy. I started watching documentaries instead of sitcoms. I also started recording myself for 1 minute every day and listening back. It was painful to hear my mistakes, but it showed me exactly what I needed to work on.
What about the fear of making mistakes in front of people?
That was a huge challenge at the beginning. I remember one time on a call, I was trying to say I was embarrassed, but I confused the word with pregnant. So I told my language partner, I'm very pregnant about my English. He was very confused for a moment, and then we both just started laughing.
That's a classic.
It is. But in that moment, I learned 2 things. First, mistakes are often funny, not fatal. And second, good people will help you. They won't judge you. After that, I stopped caring so much about being perfect and just focused on communicating. Embracing my mistakes was key to moving forward.
Your story is so inspiring, Sophia. To finish up, If a listener wants to start making serious progress today, what are your top 3 most actionable tips? 3 things they can do right now.
Okay, my top 3. Number 1, find your deep motivation. I want to learn English is not enough. You need a why. Is it a specific job, like for me? Is it to talk to a family member? To travel the world without fear? Write it down and put it somewhere you can see it every day. Your why will keep you going when you feel like quitting. Number 2, speak from day 1, even if it's just with yourself. This is my favorite trick. Narrate your life in English in your head. When you're making coffee, say, okay, now I am pouring the water. I am adding the coffee. It feels silly,
but it builds the habit of thinking in English and gets you ready for real conversations. Don't wait until you're ready. You'll never feel ready. Number 3, make it fun. Find a TV series you love, a YouTuber that makes you laugh, or music that makes you want to dance. Connect English to joy, not to work. If you enjoy the process, you will stick with it. It's that simple. Those are brilliant. Find your why, speak from day 1, and make it fun. That is advice anyone can follow. And by the way, did you get the job? I did. My interview was in English and it was tough, but I was prepared. I've been working there for a month now. That is the perfect ending to the story. Congratulations, Sophia. That is truly incredible. Wow, what a story. A huge thank you to Sophia for sharing her time and her incredible blueprint with us. Let's do a quick recap of the key takeaways. Have a strong, specific why to fuel your motivation. Create an immersion environment, change your phone's language, and consume English media daily. Practice all 4 skills every day, especially speaking. Don't be afraid to talk. Use tools you enjoy and connect learning to your passions. And most importantly, embrace your mistakes. They are proof that you are trying. I want to challenge all of you listening right now. Pick just 1 tip from Sophia that you're going to try this week. Will you start narrating your day? Will you find a language partner on Tandem? Let us know in the comment section on YouTube. We read every single one. If you found this episode helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to English in Real Life, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Sharing this with a friend who is also learning English is the best way to support the show. Thanks for listening, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.